Okie dokie, we are on lesson 77 and we are talking about mass and weight, which I know measurements are a little difficult. I find them to be difficult also. So here we go. Page 490 says there's a difference between weight and mass. The mass of an object is how much matter an object has. So matter is just kind of everything that makes you up. So, I don't know how else to explain it, but matter is what makes us up. Weight is the measure of the force of gravity on an object. So if you weigh yourself, the scale kind of tells you how much you weigh, and that is measuring how much pressure is being put on us by gravity. So mass is kind of all of, I know it's hard to kind of distinguish, but how much matter an object has. So it's just how much makes you up and how much gravity pushes on you. Though an object's weight depends on the force of gravity, its mass does not. For example, the force of gravity on the moon is less than it is on Earth. So the weight of an object on the moon is less, but its mass remains the same. So no matter where you are, if you're in space, if you're in the water, if you're just standing around doing nothing, your mass is always the same. But your weight can be different because you notice, like if you go in a pool or something, you can lift things that are heavier than you normally would outside the water. That is because the weight is different inside the water. The units of weight in the U.S. customary system are ounces, pounds, and tons. Remember that in lesson 40 we used the word ounce to describe amount of fluid. However, ounce can also describe an amount of weight. A fluid ounce of water weighs about 1 ounce. So 1 fluid ounce is the same as 1 ounce of weight. So I think we've seen FLOZ. We've talked about it. It was on that chart on our wall. And here's another thing for us to learn. As we see in the table below, 1 pound is 16 ounces. And 1 ton, so 1 ton is 2,000 pounds. And again, ounces, OZ, pounds, LB. I don't know why it's off the top of my head. I don't remember why it's LB. But OZ, ounces, LB, pounds. A box of cereal might weigh 24 ounces. Some students weigh 98 pounds. Many cars weigh 1 ton or more. So that's a good way to kind of make it make sense. So smaller things are ounces. Things like people or something a little bit bigger are pounds. And things like cars, elephants, big things are by tons. Here we go with example 1. It says that Mallory's book weighs about 2 pounds. 2 pounds is how many ounces? So here we can use this little cheat sheet here that 1 pound equals 16 ounces. So if we know 1 pound equals 16 ounces, then 2 pounds, we can just do 16 plus 16. We could do 16 times 2. I'm just going to do 16 plus 16 because it's quick and easy also. So 6 and 6 is 12. 1 plus 1 plus 1 is 3. So 32 ounces. So it might help when you're on your homework, if you have things like this on homework in the future, or when you do, to have kind of a little cheat sheet of the conversions. That's why I had it on the board, so you can look at that. I believe you also have it in your planners. The internet also has it, so be looking up the conversions. I know it's kind of hard to memorize, so we're still just going to learn this and how to convert things. Example 2, hopefully you have your book open as we do this. Example 2, the rhinoceros weighed 3 tons. So 3 tons is how many pounds? So we know that 1 ton equals 2,000 pounds. So we are looking at 3 tons. Oops. Equals what? So like this, we just added it, or we could have multiplied 2 times 16. We can just multiply 3 times 2,000. So what we've learned before with multiplying in the zeros, these zeros are just going to go hang out someplace else. They're not hanging out with their friends 3 and 2. So we can just multiply 3 times 2. That's a 6. And then these zeros can come join their friend a little bit later. So that would be 6,000 pounds. It's how much a rhinoceros weighs. And let's see, we keep going here. We also have grams and kilograms, our metric units of mass. So the ounces, pounds, tons refer to weight, and grams and kilograms refer to mass. So kilo means 1,000. This means a kilogram is 1,000 grams. A gram is abbreviated G, and kilogram is kg. Again, we've had this on the wall before, or it's on that cheat sheet on the wall. So kilo is one of those prefixes that means 1,000, which maybe next week we'll have prefixes for our grammar work. Kilo is 1,000, gram, and then G and kg. So a dollar bill has a mass about 1 gram. This book has a mass about 1 kilogram. So if you pick up your book, it's kind of heavy and it's very thick, which goes towards the mass. So it is a kilogram, while something like a piece of paper, which I don't have a dollar, but I have paper, kind of like a dollar, is only about a gram. In example 3, it says, choose the more reasonable measures for parts A through C. So a pair of shoes, do you think they're closer to a gram, which is kind of like paper, or a kilogram, which is this book? This book is pretty heavy. I don't think I've ever had a pair of shoes or would want to walk in shoes that were this heavy. So 1 gram is probably closest. I'm not gonna write it down because we're just gonna go through this. A cat, do we think it's 4 grams, so 4 pieces of paper, or 4 kilograms, which is 4 of these? This, to me, feels like a cat. If I picked this up and it was a cat, I would probably say a kilogram is how much you would measure a cat, or how much weight. Let me just make sure that I am doing this right. Oh, it tells you. Yep, 4 kilograms. Oh, this says a pair of shoes is 1 kilogram. These are some heavy shoes if it's about the weight of this book, but sure. And a quarter, so this gives you the answers here. 1 kilogram, 4 kilograms, a quarter, 5 grams, or 5 kilograms. So we think a quarter is about 5 pieces of paper, or 5 of these books. And it's grams because quarters don't weigh too much. Alrighty. Example 4 says Dolores's rabbit has a mass of 4 kilograms. 4 kilograms is how many grams? So I'll do this. We remember that, let's see, 1 kilogram is the same as 1,000 grams, because kilo is 1,000, so you need 1,000 grams to get a kilogram. And they want to know, if we have 4 kilograms, then how many grams is it? So same as we did here, we multiplied 2 times 6, or I just added 3 times 2, or 2,000, sorry, 2 times 16. So this we can again just do 4 times 1,000, and again just do 4 times 1, it's 4, and those zeros can come back down and join their friend. So it might help you to have these cheat sheets somewhere on your paper where you do your homework, or to look at them in your what is it called, your daily planner. I'm going to do lesson practice A, and let's see, C, and K, which I should probably, I'm going to leave this. A says Dave's pickup truck can haul a half ton of cargo. How many pounds is a half ton? So we know 1 ton is 2,000. Half of 2,000 is, we just divide by 2, is 1,000. Take away half of 2, you get 1. Which a good visual way to show it is, let's see, if I have 2 markers and then half of it's gone, I only have 1 marker, so that would be 1,000. And it's measured in pounds. Oops, LBS, pounds. Letter C, the directions say choose the more reasonable measure for problems, those ones. So C says a tennis ball, is it closer to 57 grams or 57 kilograms? So 57 pieces of paper or 57 textbooks. I don't know about you, but 57 math books would be awful heavy. So, but 57 pieces of paper wouldn't be that heavy, and probably about the nice weight for a tennis ball. And letter K says Nancy had 4 pounds of peaches. So I'm going to write down my information. 4 pounds of peaches. To make peach cobbler, she needs 24 ounces of peaches. So she needs 24 ounces. After making the cobbler, how many more ounces of peaches will Nancy have left? So we know that 1 pound equals 16 ounces. So 16 plus 16 is 32. So she doesn't need 2 pounds, but she's got 4. Also, we can just do half of 16 is 8, which I know this is kind of confusing and kind of difficult to figure out. If we have this on our homework, I'll make sure we do it. But she only needs 24 ounces. 16 and then plus half of that. So 16 plus 8, because that's 8 is half of 16. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And 1 plus 1 is 2. So she only needs 1.5 pounds. So then how many does she have left over? So if we take away 1.5 from 4, we can think of it as 4.0 minus 1.5, because 1 and 1/2 is 1.5 and 4 is 4.0. Again, I know this is kind of using a lot of stuff that we've learned into one problem, but it's good for us to practice this. So we take 5 away from 10, we get 5. Make sure we bring down that decimal. 1 minus 3 is 2. So she'd have 2.5 pounds left. Would be that answer. Again, I know it's tricky. Stay tuned for our homework.